The entire team at the Emsolation podcast acknowledges the traditional custodians and cultures of the lands and seas on which we live and work. We pay our respects to all First Nations peoples, elders and ancestors. We acknowledge that sovereignty was never ceded and stand in solidarity towards a shared future. I personally want to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which I record this podcast every week, the Wurundjeri people. I recognise their continued connection to the land and waters of this beautiful place I call home. Always was, always will be.
I can't help it that I'm a good dancer and you're a strong mover. Don't punish me for being good at choreo.
And Michael Lucas.
I am a professional DJ, it's true. I played one on screen. Beat mixing, yes, I did learn how to beat mix, but anyway, that's not what I'm talking about.
This is Emsolation.
Oh, I bet you have a disgusting giant-sized Nivea.
I do, it's exactly what I have.
You are such a hetero.
It's a pump.
You're in Emsolation.
Well, hello there and welcome to Emsolation. My name is Em Rusciano. I'm a writer, a singer, a stand-up comedian, a maximalist power queen, a neurodivergent magic brain, a podcaster, and together with my best friend since I was 11, screenwriter, Logie Award winner, actor award winner, Mr. Michael Lucas, I bring you this podcast every Thursday, only on Spotify. How are you? As a lot of you know, have had a tough week, and I'm not really ready to go into a whole lot of detail, but my beloved Silky Terrier, Toby, passed away last Thursday. And we go a little bit into it in the podcast, and I'm a bit frantic, and there's some dark jokes, but that's just how I process. All of you know this about me. When I'm ready, I'll tell you the exact events and I'll tell some stories about Toby because I want them to be out there because we keep the memories of the people and pets we love alive by telling their stories. I've been beside myself, to be honest. You know, when you lose a pet, it's just this pure grief because it was just such unconditional love and they're just not here long enough. But yeah, I'm not ready at all. Moving on, let's press the segue out. My friend Nazim Hussain came in earlier in the week. That was our Tuesday episode. If you're yet to listen, please do. I really enjoyed the chat and I know that it will give you another side to Nazim because perhaps you've only seen him on the project or some of his stand-up, but he is a dear friend of mine, someone who I just love spending time with, and it was a great chat. So I hope you've listened to it and I hope you enjoyed it, and if you haven't, please go back and check it out. You'll love it. This week's episode is, like I said, we talk a little bit about Toby. We speak about the drama going down at the Ted Lasso set. I knew it. I bloody knew it. I told you. I told you about my vibes about him, Jason Sudeikis. We also talk about Lady Gaga having to dramatically remove herself from stage during a terrible lightning storm, thus being unable to finish her Chromatica tour. What else do we cover off? Oh, the new Heartbreak High series on Netflix, just ticking all my boxes. I have to say, so good. And, just the usual revelry. I won't keep you too long. I'm just a bit out of sorts. I was standing in the shower and I thought about maybe I should go on Instagram and talk about how I feel out of sorts because I think everyone's feeling a bit out of sorts. Man, I was like, I don't want to bring people down. But then, maybe sometimes it helps you knowing that you're not the only one feeling out of sorts. I feel like, when you're searching around to plug something into the wall and the prongs are kind of going in, but you're just not lining up to shove it all the way in to get some power. That's how I feel at the moment spiritually. Like I'm waving it around. I don't know, maybe you understand what I mean. I'm watching a lot of telly. My goodness, I am definitely trying to distract myself. Oh, you know what I did want to talk about briefly? I want to talk about the Patreon page. Now, do not skip forward, don't, because I want you to hear me out. This podcast, we put in so much effort and you get it all for free, especially if you've got the Spotify free app. If you're paying for Pro, you get other benefits for that. But I was sat down by my team and told it was probably time that I put a price on some extra content. And so we've done that. The Patreon page has been rebooted. It's being run by Ben, our executive producer. There's new tiers. There's a live stream that's happening every Monday before the show. You can join Michael and I to help us plan the show and name the show and be a part of it. There's birthday messages. You get a welcome message. There's a whole bunch of new things that can help you be involved in our community. You can also be on our close friends list on Instagram. We just wanted to give the opportunity to all of you hardcore emsolators who want to make sure that we're always around, because I am a one-woman show and we have a studio and we have a whole team and I fund it, me, not a corporation. Spotify lease our show, but I cover the majority of it. So I would really appreciate your appreciation if you can afford it. I know it's a weird time. I know, $7 a month is a stretch for a lot of people. I get it. But if you think we're worth, 90 cents an episode, please check out the Patreon page. Letting go of the weirdness that artists and creatives often feel about talking to their audiences about money. But I put my heart and soul into this, as do my team. And I don't feel weird offering you all the chance to show your appreciation with cash. That's the truth. And it's not much, but it means the world to us. Okay, that's it. That's the intro. I think that's everything. Yeah. All right. Enjoy. Play the music.
M. Rusciano and Michael Lucas. This is Emsolation.
Good evening, Michael Lucas.
Good evening, Amelia Rossiano.
Good evening, Marcella Vincenza Rosciano Barrow.
Good evening.
The last one's such a letdown, isn't it?
It does.
It's time to get rid of it.
Really?
See you later. Nobody wants it.
No, that's not true. I use it all the time.
No, but yeah, when people know who you are.
Oh, don't give it away.
That's not a good thing.
That's my... No, that's my alias. Oh, you've given my alias away.
Oh, it's so hard to figure out.
Alias M. Barrow.
Mm-hmm. That's my secret. That's my secret identity.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, so secret.
Madonna's was Dita.
Really?
And she was her erotic. Remember, she was, my name is Dita.
Oh, I didn't know that. So you're talking about like when she would check into hotels.
Yeah.
She was Dita.
Dita Parlo.
Dita Parlo. You just know everything.
I do.
I love it so much. Welcome. Look, a lot has transpired since we last spoke, obviously. If you follow me on Instagram, you're across the fact that our wonderful dog, Toby, passed away on Thursday. And I have to tell both of you, it was a series of events. So my tooth fell out on Wednesday. I'll precursor this story with, right? I was here. I was at the studio, I bit into an almond, and my fake tooth that they'd put in while my gum healed from having the other tooth fell out. And Nazim came into the studio this week, and I told him how my tooth fell out. And he said, oh, well, in Muslim culture, if your tooth falls out or you dream of your tooth falling out, a member of your family will pass away very soon.
Thanks, Nazim.
Right? And I said, what? He said, yeah, and wherever the tooth is determines where they are in your family. So, like, your parents and your siblings are at the front and then... And I said, what about dogs? And he said, yeah, they'd be like further back. And I'm like,
dun.
My dog died on Thursday and my tooth fell out on Wednesday. And he was like, oh my goodness. So that's straight off the bat. It's a strange time. So on Thursday, I was due to fly to the Gold Coast to give a speech. And the car who was coming to pick me up was literally pulling into our driveway and Toby collapsed. And I'm not going to go into details because I'll cry, but I picked him up and I knew I couldn't go to Gold Coast on that day. So I spent the day with Toby and he passed away Thursday night. And it was like horrendo. And again, I'm not going to talk about it. I don't upset Chella. But the next day I had to then get myself to the Gold Coast. So it was an in and out on Friday at the Gold Coast. So I was up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I got picked up and I hadn't slept and I was really off my head quite early in terms of just spinning fast, anxiety, horrendo. And so I get to the airport and I look over my speech and I'm like, yep, cool, got my speech down, because I'm a professional speech giver. And I fly to the Gold Coast. I spend most of the flight quietly crying. So I decided to have like 3 coffees because that's and I hadn't eaten and I'd just had my medication, right? So it was really,
okay.
I was basically hovering above the ground.
Yeah, might as well have done a line of speed.
Pretty much,
yeah.
Did. Arrived where I was giving the speech and I was 3 hours early.
Okay, a lot of time to sit there spinning your wheels.
And just thought I'd rewrite the whole speech.
What, pray tell, was the premise of the speech?
Storytellers, how important storytellers are.
Okay.
And how we got to celebrate them, and how, good PR and marketing is always around, the best types are around storytelling.
And had you written it specifically for this event, or is it sort of a standard?
I had written it specifically, but included a lot of standard stuff because I am a storyteller. That's the whole point. And they had me there because I'm a storyteller and they were celebrating me. But I just thought, in my state, that I should probably just overhaul the whole thing. And then halfway through, I noticed that half of the people attending the conference left. And I better put some more jokes into the speech because it's going to be a smaller room. And apparently all these flights have been cancelled. So all the attendees needed to somehow get home. So they had to leave the conference. So by the time I got into the stage, still hadn't eaten it, had myself another coffee. So we're on count of 4.
Okay.
Had a quiet cry in the bathroom before. And then as I'm sitting there, I walk into the room and notice there's only about, 50 people left of 300 or 400.
Right, okay.
Tough room. Tough room. Also, they had been there for 3 days. I was the last person they were seeing before they got to go to the bar, the open bar.
Oh, that's cruel. And then did you come up to your streak and say, this is a speech about a dog called Toby?
Well, kind of, yeah, because I'm sitting side of stage and the announcer reads my bio. And the last line in my bio is, Em has 3 kids, 3 dogs and a husband.
Oh, it was the straw. That broke.
And I got up and I said to him, the first thing I said to this room of exhausted people, they'd flown me all the way there, they were waiting. The first thing I said was, I've only got 2 dogs now. One of them died last night.
Oh, what a way to get the party started.
I would have laughed.
Can you imagine? That's how I started. Meanwhile, the whole time, the gap in my tooth, when I say a noise, it makes a fart sound.
Oh.
I get this, gets air in it. So every time I'm talking about Toby, my mouth kept farting.
Oh, no.
And so I kept having to mention every time my mouth farted because the gap in my tooth.
Everyone's like, there is a grief-stricken, flatulent woman and it is not as funny as it sounds.
It's not at all. And any comedian, and you get caught in this trap, when no one's laughing, you mine harder. You become obsessed with winning them over. So I just kept saying stuff that was not even written. They had no business being there. And I just kept bringing up my dead dog. Any time someone didn't give me the reaction I wanted, I'd be like, oh, mate, my dog died last. Stop mentioning your dead dog, dickhead, and get on with the storytelling speech.
What does this have to do with PR?
And then the worst part was they filmed it. And they're going to use it for future,
Maybe it'll just become a
tale
what
of
not
woe,
to do.
what not to do, cautionary tale.
Let's just...
And at the end
You'll
of it,
become the legend of the toothless dead dog woman on the Gold Coast.
oh my God. So I'm like, yeah, I'm a pirate. I'm a pirate whose animal died, and I've had 15 coffees and I really need to go to the toilet. And is there any alcohol? And I didn't draw breath. It was this manic. And so the speech ends right. The speech ends.
No questions. There's nothing more torturous to any questions from the audience.
Nothing.
Oh.
Fucking crickets.
And then don't tell me the organiser asked one because that only rubs salt in the wound.
Mate, fucking.
A charity question,
charity
basically.
question, right?
Well, you really won that room, didn't you?
Smoke bomb
Yeah.
left. And in the car, I'm sitting there and Scott called me and he's like, how's your speech? And I was like, look, it's not my best work. But I showed up and I cried and I farted with my mouth and I spoke about death and I spoke about how, it was really important to tell honest stories and I did. And
Well, I'm just trying to find an element to put a good spin on it. There's nothing's coming to mind.
I think it's something, look, they'll never forget it. It certainly woke them all up. It certainly made them want to go to the bar. But I did my best given the circumstances. I'm not here telling you I didn't prepare and I half-assed it. I full-assed it.
Yeah.
I was just not in my right mind. And
No.
probably shouldn't have
It
gone.
was Katy Perry and Rio, but less
Do
successful.
you know how many times I watched that scene? I watched that scene sitting out on the couch for the 3 hours. I got it up.
Yeah.
I literally
inspire you.
pumped myself up with Katy Perry. And then I
And
walked
way
into a
too many
room
coffees.
of 50 people.
And died.
And then the announcer got up on stage and he said, I'm just so sorry I mentioned your dog. And I said, yeah, well, it's your fault.
And you had to give up a night of accommodation on the Gold Coast.
Yeah, I did. I
sacrifice.
wasn't going to, and I'm glad I didn't because I was with him.
No, I know, of course. Couldn't you have taken it the next night? No.
No, I needed to get, I barely remember it. And then on the flight home, the cabin crew, he was so lovely and I think knew what it, like, he was being very lovely. Like he gave me 3 Love Heart chocolates with my dinner because I got to fly home business because it was a corporate.
Were you telling the cabin crew about it?
I didn't say a word, but
Didn't you? He read it.
He gave me 3 chocolates and I burst into tears.
He's like, she's either a staunch monarchist or she's lost someone.
Anyway, if you were at one of the 50 people left, thank you, and I'm sorry.
Personal apology.
So that's what happened to me. Moving on, I just want to say how much I love the reboot of Heartbreak High on Netflix.
Oi! There's a fully gacked sex map in the old stairwell!
The incest map.
What, in the kids' helpline?
It was all about who hooked up with who in our year and what they did.
Wristy? Doughy? Think I can work out tongue punch in the fart box?
Your names were on the map in the stairwell.
This is a sexual literacy tutorial.
This is sex jail.
Who else was in on it? Your usual accomplice, Harper?
What happened? Our friendship was perfect, and it just fucking blew up into nothing.
Dude, everyone's pissed. You broke people up, outed people.
That's not a reason to dump me.
Oi, hello, didn't you hear me?
And look, you're a tough crowd because you have a very strong relationship with the original.
As do
we
you.
both do, yeah.
What are your fondest memories of the original?
Doris Yanane.
Oh, no prizes for guessing why.
Went on a lifelong mission, succeeded. She's in my life.
When you cast her,
I know.
you and I,
Wild.
mate,
I know.
and now she's our friend. My daughter drives her around.
Exactly.
Tell us about driving Doris Yanane around.
Well, you can't break your confidentiality,
but
just say nice things. I permit you to say, oh, no, you would only say nice things about Doris.
Yeah, but
she's a legend.
Well, that's all I get is when Chella gets home and
No, she's great. We're already planning the rap party. That's how we spend our car trips.
Doris is obsessed with rap parties.
She's really obsessed. She's like, we got to have...
Do her voice. You're Italian. You can. Okay. She's led by you're Italian. It's fine. Do her voice.
We got to have an area for the smokers, but I don't want to have to walk downstairs. I just want to have to go outside. And we got to have a dance floor and we got to have a bar.
Yeah, and also because we had, so season one, she was not happy with the rap party. There were many things that were wrong with it. And
Michael's just going through his brain on his confidentiality clause that he can reveal.
But what I really loved was it was only a very limited selection at the bar, and you couldn't the production can't afford to buy everyone cocktails, but you should have a bar that if people want to buy their own celebrated cocktail, they could, and that bar didn't have it. And then I remember Doris looking at the thing, and she's like, "Cat Stewart can't drink that shit."
I love Doris so much. I just love that Chella and Doris get to hang out. It's just the
It's
light of
amazing.
my life. What else? But what else is your fondest memories?
Of Heartbreak High? Well, Jurassic.
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 I'll pull your head in.
Yeah, of course. Does he come into it?
Well, isn't he quite successful now?
Yeah, Callan Mulvey. I tried to cast him once and we got turned back, but he wrote a lovely letter.
He's not in. I've only seen up to episode 4, and he's not in yet.
Yeah.
But the other guys.
Scott
in it.
Major's
Yeah,
in it.
yeah.
Oh,
Con.
look.
I love Con.
Yeah. Good old. And Alex Demetriadis. Oh, yeah, of course. I love that the premise of the original movie was so deeply problematic, but we just loved it.
I just am thinking about the original movie right now.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
We totally were like, hook up with the teacher.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Why didn't you come?
I borrowed a friend's place. Meet me there this afternoon.
All the conservative people that had a problem with the teacher.
Did people have a problem at the time?
No, not at the time.
Did any of us question the fact the student hooked up with the teacher?
No.
We wanted him to.
Yeah, cheering it on. Yeah.
Oh my God, I just realised.
Yeah.
So problematic.
Yeah.
But that was so hot.
So hot.
Problematic though.
Yeah. And also, it was just, it was, most of the high school shows on TV did look a bit like Summer Bay. And Heartbreak High was gritty and diverse. Anyway, but flash forward, now here we are, 2022.
Chella's done the whole series. Thoughts and feelings? Review from the one person who watched the whole thing in 2 days.
No, I think it was
clear your throat, please.
Oh.
Okay, yep. Clear your throat. Okay,
He's
go.
looking for a little button
Yeah.
to press. My game's not going to work this time.
Shut up, idiot. Go.
No, I thought it was really good. I thought the representation was great and none of it felt forced or like they were ticking boxes or filling quotas. Yeah, well, I can't do spoilers, but
Kind of depends on whether you get good leads, and they did. I feel like they struck some gold. Someone had clearly been to see the Fangirls musical because I feel like someone was sitting there going, we'll take them, we'll take them.
yeah.
And good move because they were awesome. I'm going to say there might have been a bit of a budget uplift for Heartbreak High just from the music alone.
You were dying.
Dying.
They had Dua Lipa levitating. How much would that cost? You know how much music costs?
I don't think you could get away with Dua Lipa. I think you'd be looking at like 60, 70 grand, depending on how long you wanted to keep it. More maybe, depending on, I know, I saw there's some Brits that have been tweeting in quite a complimentary way about the newsroom, but they're like, oh, misses an opportunity. Where's the Madonna and Michael Jackson on the soundtrack? I feel like, what do you think, dickheads? We're on the ABC.
Yeah, well, no, you do well.
We don't get, but we can't afford, like, there are many tracks that we couldn't even get Bronski beat. Like, there's lots of tracks that are off limits. So when I was watching Heartbreak High, last season on 5 Bedrooms, we did get Jesse's Girl, and that cost us a fortune. But, and weirdly as well, they had a lot of 90s tracks in there. They had, like, garbage and stuff.
I know. You can tell someone our age program the music, maybe.
But also, though, because 90s and 2000s fashion is back in.
Yeah, I know.
So
but
that's what they're all getting around in grunge 90s gear. Like,
I guess Odie was telling me about the new band she's listening to, Smashing Pumpkins. So she's like, yeah, I'm listening to the Pumpkins. I'm like, yeah, I was the Pumpkins. I told her about how you and I at our year 8 formal or year 9 were screaming, despite all my rage, I'm still just a rat in a cage. Like, I vividly recall a mosh where we were all on the floor screaming that loudly.
Look, I'm so happy I'm in that memory, but I think all of our listeners will know that whilst the grunge period was happening, I was basically listening to Barbra Streisand and Bette Midler. That's how I wrote that one out.
You still knew the words.
No, I did.
Don't pretend.
I had Nevermind, and I did.
Of course you did.
Of course I did, but it wasn't.
Don't gay yourself up for fucking a good story. You were trying to be straight.
I was, but I wasn't. I couldn't go that far.
You did walk to the library every day to read The Age.
I was more of a, I was more Be Our Guest than Smells Like Teen Spirit, and that's the truth.
That's true. So the music's great. I specifically want to single out the character Quinny, played by Chloe Hayden, because she is the neurodivergent character. She is autistic. And your niece...
Yes.
She's
personal connection.
Your niece is the...
Yeah, my niece is Kathleen Mary Lee, who's a very talented writer and director and performer herself.
Yes.
And she was the ND consultant.
Is that like the equivalent of the intimacy coordinator for neurodivergence to make sure it all happens correctly?
Yes, although she was just in the plotting room giving notes on the script. So she was sort of saying, I don't know, sort of things like, I wouldn't in this moment be splashing water on my face. That doesn't feel right. I don't know.
Well, she nailed it. Chloe has nailed it. I have never seen a better... I mean, it got a bit much for me. One of the scenes where all the noises are coming at one of the characters, a Quinny, she's on a date and the restaurant noises, ambient, is just completely overrunning her, and it was a lot because that is exactly how it sounds in my head. And to see it on a television show was just like, oh, fuck. But I can just tell that they've hired an actress who understands it. They've got people who are part of the writing team that get it. Because up until now, what have you got? Dustin Hoffman in Rain Man. You've got the guy in Atypical. You've got the girl from the Sia movie that, all these depictions are quite stereotypical. And this is the first time I've seen an accurate one of the female experience of neurodivergence. And I just think if this show had been around when I was the age I was, when I watched the last Heartbreak High, I would have twigged much earlier. That's why representation matters. That's why this shit matters. Because I was just thinking, fuck, if I'd have been able to watch this as a kid, the difference it would have made.
Yeah.
But also,
Instead, we were cued to want to lust after our teachers.
But so true. What was the movie with Lolita?
Yeah.
That came out. That was big in our time. There was a lot of teenage
it was all the rage.
student-teacher hookup.
Oh, and I feel like Alicia Silverstone hopped in. There was one, remember Drew Barrymore, Poison Ivy?
Oh, my God. There's so many
We loved it. We loved a bit of
Poison Ivy.
Teenage jailbait was the kind of
what about
classic story.
Neve Campbell and
Wild Things?
Didn't they seduce their teacher in Wild Things?
I feel like they did. I feel like they were a lot younger than Kevin Bacon.
Oh, my God. So I'm absolutely recommend it. It's so, so good.
They've done really well. They should be very happy.
Yes. And I hope this blows up internationally for everyone. All of the actors, James Majoose,
Yes.
as Darren.
They're fantastic.
Are spectacular.
I know. And we saw them on stage in Fangirls, and they were brilliant there.
Yeah.
And, some people translate really well to screen, some people, but
They are.
yeah,
They
they're
have
fantastic.
a really, really lovely moment. I won't spoil it, but towards the end of the series where they sort of open up to their dad and it's really beautiful.
A lot more sex talk in this one. A lot more sex talk, a lot more colour.
Can I tell you, I asked Odie,
Yeah.
is this what high school is? Like, have they stylized it a lot? Like, do you guys actually sit around talking about
Drawing
dildos,
your sex maps
and anal and stuff like that? Like, is it that hectic now?
Yes.
She said yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but famously, people are having less sex. They're talking about it more, though.
Really?
Yes. The rate of sexual activity with teenagers has been dropping. So people are looking at porn, not doing it.
COVID.
Well, COVID would not
Kills your
help.
sex drive.
But people are worried that people's sexual identity is more based on online stuff rather than actual person-to-person. Yeah.
Yeah, right. The greatest news story of all time occurred over the weekend, and I just feel like my family really let me down.
Oh, my God. I'm so intrigued.
Well, yeah, you kind of already know because it got given away, but a truck overturned,
Yeah.
and a lot of Emsolators sent this in, and I felt like we needed to discuss it. A truck overturned near Oklahoma City, and it was reporting, this is one of the greatest live reports I've ever seen, because as they crossed to the chopper to report what had happened, the guy announces,
this is a semi that overturned and lost its load here. They already got the records here, but there is a lot of stuff to clean up.
Can you tell what he's carrying there? What's all over the road?
what they were looking at was a truck full of dildos and lube overturned.
We're zooming in, not really.
All right, that's
a mess for sure.
That's the latest. I-40 eastbound.
Well,
Looks like some
maybe you
some
can
type of
tell.
parcel.
I can't tell. You know, the good thing involved in this, too, is the driver's not injured.
Good.
There's no injuries, but there's a lot of stuff laying on the road. Whatever it is, it's going to take a while to clean up.
And it backed up the off-ramp for several hours, the get-off ramp. Thank you very much.
You don't want to be backed up when you're dealing with some dildos and lube.
And, when someone loses their load, there often is a clean-up. I mean, come on!
Was the lube in some sort of vats or what was it?
All I know is there are reports of a slippery surface.
Yeah.
So the lube somehow squirted out everywhere and just covered the road in a very glistening sheen. And cars were it was a hazard. Literally slippery when wet. Had to be. Come on! And I'm sitting in the lounge room recounting this story to my daughter and my husband.
Yeah.
And they gave me nothing. Nothing. There was a truck overturned, spilling dildos and lube, and you gave me nothing.
Because she hyped it up so much. She was like, there's dicks all over the road. They're everywhere.
Where's the light?
And then she shows me the picture and they're all just boxed up.
With
It
big
just
dicks on the side.
it just looks like boxes all over the thing.
No, I confess, I was seeing asphalt that was covered
in pink
grease with a
penises.
whole
That
lot
is
of
what I was
penises
watching.
sticking out.
No, it was a whole heap of cardboard boxes.
And when Jim zoomed in, very clearly on the side of the boxes was a massive pink dong. And
not
when
the same.
he realised, because they kept saying, Jim, can you see what it is? Jim, can you see what it is? And then he just zooms in and then there's silence. Because Jim saw what it was.
I guess I was imagining that there'd be a slick of lube and a car would end up spinning its wheels and the wheels would be throwing up all sorts of dildos. It would have been flying everywhere. People would have to turn on their windscreen wipers to swat away the dildos.
Yeah.
But that's not quite the same.
Imagine, though, telling people why you were late to work, though. That's good.
That would be good.
I was late to work, you late? Wow. And I would have said it. Just dicks everywhere. Just dicks. Like, get to a shit. Where's my boo? Boo!
yeah, that's a good one.
Oh, what a letdown. I'm taking a sip of my drink.
Look.
My dog died, all right? that got a bigger laugh, you sickos.
Look, there's only one joke to made about the dildos and lube. You made it. What were we meant to do?
Move on.
Ooh.
One up. No, off to your right. Off to your right. Up. No.
Hi, gang.
No. You meant to do the rattlesnake.
Oh.
It's a blue one.
Do it again.
Move on. So glad we did that.
Ted Lasso. Fuck him. Like, seriously. I don't like
I think you say Jason Sudeikis because you haven't seen Ted Lasso, and Ted Lasso is actually quite a nice man.
Listen, I'm just going to put this out there. Any man who serves his ex custody papers while she's on stage
About to unleash her trailer.
is no-goes gross. Like, he's bad people. I don't care how nice. I've also found out he is the stormtrooper who punched Baby Yoda in, what's it called, Ben?
The Mandalorian.
Mandalorian.
You guys like to lay down the law when they first arrive in a town, you know. You know how it is. I said, shut up.
He punched.
Well, I'm not going to hold that
volunteered.
against him.
I bet you he read the script. He's like, I want to punch the kid.
Oh, show me the cutest thing you possibly can and let me punch it.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to pretend it's Harry Styles.
I'm going to know. I mean, who knows what he thought. All I know is he fucking asked to punch Baby Yoda 1 million, jillion, trillion%.
Wow.
And, like, it's just so on brand for that guy. So on brand. And everyone's like, it's Ted Lasso. It's just got this permanent smug look on his face with a stupid mustache.
Oh, I hope he's not very litigious. Anyway.
What? What, I'm not allowed to say he's got a stupid smug look on his face?
If we get served papers in the next thing,
probably
next time
live.
Em will be up on the Gold Coast. I'm here to talk about storytelling, and then the papers arrive. Jason Sudeikis suing you. Defamation.
What? Where is the lie? He did punch Baby Yoda, and he does have a smug face, and he does have a mustache. Where is the lie?
Did I lie?
Oh, yes. Can we get that put in?
Did I lie? Did I lie? Did I fucking lie?
Anyway. So I knew it. I knew that. I just knew, right?
He was wrong. He was bad.
So at the Emmys, when he gave a speech, have a listen to the speech and see what you pick up.
Daisy, I love you very much. Yeah, we'll see you for season 3 at some point.
Okay, so right at the end there, you'll hear he's like speculating about season 3. And by the way, season 3, it's been well over a year since season 2 ended. And everyone's like, well, where's season 3? It's meant to be on air right now. But they're only halfway through shooting. Why, you ask? Well, let me tell you. He's getting paid $1 million an episode.
Well, to be fair.
Yeah, go and do it. Do your fucking devil's advocate professional.
No, well, he's
Hi, I'm Michael, and I always have to say to be fair and say the other side.
Thank
Flawless
you
execution.
for that generous recreation of
Yeah.
our dynamic.
Yeah.
He's the writer, he's the creator, and he's the star. The show is impossible to make without him, and it's an enormous money spinner for Apple. If he's not getting the money, who is?
No one, apparently.
Well, apparently no one else.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe you should spread it around, but anyway.
Yes, anyway, Brett Goldstein, who also writes and plays the other lead, Roy or something. Do you know Roy?
Yeah, he's second, he's side hand man.
Do you know what he gets?
Side hand?
Per episode, and he does exactly the same as Jason. $150K.
Wow. Does seem to be a wealth disparity there.
Yeah. Yep. And also, the show is now blown out because Jason keeps changing the scripts. He has notes. So they come to him and then he held a... Okay, I want you... You will not agree to this.
Okay.
He decided he wanted to hold a brainstorm. So he got everyone together and they had a brainstorm. And after this brainstorm, they had to fly everyone to Amsterdam and add several weeks of filming to the production schedule.
I mean, look, we don't know. Probably the scripts weren't good enough, and he felt like this isn't strong enough, and everyone's going to be disappointed. And I've got some ideas. We need some ideas to make it better, and we can afford it. It's Apple. Apple have an endless pot of money. So why not take 7 weeks to try and make it the best it can possibly be, and everyone will thank me later. They'll have to wait a little bit longer, but they'll get a better show. That's what he would have been thinking.
Defending him? The guy who punched Baby Yoda?
Knock it off.
Well,
are you defending him?
It was his equivalent of the Adele moment of going, my show ain't ready. So she had to go and
We're going to segue off that. But I'm telling you, there's something off about that guy. There's something off.
You've said it here.
I know other people agree with me. Other Emsolators sniff it too.
Em Rusciano and Michael Lucas. This is Emsolation.
Lady Gaga had a tragedy.
She really did.
She really did. Do you want to explain what happened?
Well, Lady Gaga is doing her Chromatica tour, a much delayed tour because of the pandemic. And also she's had several health problems. She hasn't been able to mount a big stadium tour for a long, long time.
That's not where I thought that sentence was going.
Hi, gang.
I don't even know. I missed it. I don't even know.
She hasn't been able to mount a... Never mind.
Concept. Oh.
Next.
have sex.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep. She might be sad that truck crashed. She might have had an order in there.
Mm.
Oh, that gets a laugh. Ah!
She would have been delayed just sitting there from waiting on the edge of glory.
There's so many. Yeah, there's so many people now tracking their app right now. Just like,
round of applause.
what? Oh, okay.
Thank you. She was calling the dildo company on her telephone. Oh, wait, okay. No, that wasn't as good. Wasn't as good.
He's frantically searching his mind for more. Rain on me. There's something there because that film.
She had to buy a smaller model and she said, well, it'll just have to be shallow.
Okay. All right, so go. So Chromatica, she's been doing this tour. Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's a natural emergency in that there's a storm. It's in Miami, and lightning is striking. It's actually striking the ground quite close to the venue, and so presumably people were rushing backstage saying, Gaga, it's just not safe. We're going to have to end the show halfway through. It's our last show. So they have to like end and evacuate the stadium.
Yeah.
But thankfully, she had the power of social media. She could reach out to the fans. And didn't she ever?
This video we're obsessed with it, by the way.
I love it. The best thing about social media, I think, is that it gives divas the opportunity to do tearful videos to their adoring gaze. And
without PR consent.
That's right. And no one's ever gone more tearful or more just over the top.
This is very akin to what the people witnessed on Friday, I have to say, with my speech. Just the places the places you're about to hear Gaga go.
Yeah.
Not dissimilar to how my speech went, especially where she ends.
She did not hold back. She did not wear her poker face. Sorry, it's getting shit.
Where's my boo button?
Sorry, I know, I've really turned it.
All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to okay stop on the video. We're going to play it all for you now. Chella and Michael can face you two. All right, you two can do the okay stop if you want. Okay, you ready?
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for...
Stop.
Yes. Go.
The strategic picking up of the dead roses.
So she's clutching a posy that was obviously given to her by a fan, and a couple seconds in, she has brought it up in front of her, like a bride, like a what do they call it? Like a corpse bride.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Coming to the Chromatica ball and...
The way she said... Okay, stop. Sorry. Okay, stop. The Chromatica ball. I also want to say one thing that really is, if this were an advertisement for her makeup, it's a good one because either she's putting this on and not really crying, or that is amazingly waterproof.
I can't believe at the end she didn't go brought to you by House Labs.
We really tried to finish the show tonight in Miami, but we couldn't because even when the rain sort of stopped, there was lightning that was striking right down to the ground. So
can I just say, okay, stop. When I first started watching this, I assumed that someone had actually died at the concert. Like, the tone and the gravity that she is bringing to it really feels like she has caused the death of a fan.
Close to us, and look, I know that for a really long time, I've always wanted to be like that hardcore bad bitch, but what I really want is to also be responsible and loving.
Okay, stop. She is just, that's a dilemma of life.
I respect it.
Yeah.
I get it. I see it.
Yeah, you want to be the hardcore bad bitch, but you want to be responsible and loving.
Of course. That's my parenting ethos.
That's you. That's you balancing being a mother to your children. That's responsible and loving. And then being a wife to Scott. Hardcore bad bitch. You got to hold the two.
Get it. I understand it. And it's a dilemma I face every day.
Absolutely.
Am I the hardcore bad bitch or am I caring and loving?
Yeah.
Is there a way I can combine the two?
I feel like you can flip between one and the other within seconds, milliseconds. You just need to bring up the name Jason Sudeikis. Okay.
And I don't know what I would do if anything happened to anybody in the audience. Or to...
Wait, so she's saying being a hardcore bad bitch is meaning just like going ahead and watching people die? Is that...
like you get struck by lightning, show must go on.
I don't think anyone wants that of her.
No, I don't think that's. I mean, yeah.
Like, no one's going to watch that and go, fuck, she.
No one's going to look at someone actually self-immolate and go, ooh, so on brand. I mean, it's just.
Wow! I don't know what that dance was, but I must have it on replay at all times. It was like he was remixing a record on his shoulder or something. Okay, go.
Any member of my crew, my band, my dancers. So I'm sorry that we didn't get to, do the epic performance of Rain on Me in the Rain, but what's more worth it to me is life.
Okay, stop.
Oh, wow.
And you know the weird thing is? I don't believe her. I think she would have thought this would be an amazing live video. It could drive the song back to number 1. I respect it.
Just life is more important than an epic performance.
Such a tight race, though. Oh my Such a tight race.
Good on her. But I love the fact that it was like she almost didn't know which one to choose.
No,
Life
exactly.
Or the epic performance of Rain on Me in the Rain.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I still remember
I'm so tormented.
Her MTV Music Video Awards performance of Paparazzi, famously. Remember, she was like hanging dead with blood dripping off her?
Yes.
I think it's all intermingled for Gaga. It is on brand.
Okay.
Whoever threw these to me on stage, I will cherish them forever.
Okay, stop. I call bullshit. I mean, firstly, how's she going to cherish them forever?
Also, there's some baby's breath in there. This is from
They
a
look
servo.
cheap.
They are.
I think they're fake. Because
Well-
they're making a weird, like, plastic rustly
God,
sound.
they are.
They're not real.
They're fake
That's
flowers.
why she can cherish
Look
them
at the back of
forever,
the
but
leaves.
that's sad.
Look at the back of the leaves.
Okay.
They're fake. She can cherish them forever.
They're
because
fake
they're
$2 roses from Bunnings.
fucking fake.
It took so much in my heart to get back to a place where I could perform and be healthy. And I hope you know that part of why I decided not to finish the show was because I am healthy, and it's a healthy decision for all of you and for myself as well. So I love you, and yes, I'd rather it be dry, but we're all alive.
Okay, stop. Yeah.
Stop.
Full respect.
Quoted her own lyrics.
Oh.
I'd
Not,
rather be dry, but at least I'm alive. Beautiful.
not since J-Lo put Let's Get Loud
Brand alignment.
into the presidential inauguration.
Did we ever think it would be beaten?
No.
Did we ever think? And yet here she is.
Here she is.
In her tearful apology, got lyrics in. Who'd have thought?
Amazing. Who'd have
But able
thought?
to crack a smile.
Respect.
Yeah, I'd rather be dry.
Respect, bitch.
I'll see you.
Ah, stop! She just, like, gently dabbed her tears away.
It was stunning movement, and there were no tears.
Next time I'm on the stage. And until then, Chromatica will never be over, because Chromatica is about healing. And Chromatica is about knowing that you're enough. And I feel like enough tonight, even though I didn't get to finish. I really feel like enough. So thank you for giving me that. I love you. Bye.
Do you know what would have been epic if they just flashed up a title at the end that said, unfortunately, no refunds possible? And also, that's what I want to know. Did the crowd get refunded? Because it's half the concert.
No. But I just respect the fact that it ended on a self-help message. So
Yeah, beautiful.
I'm worth that.
And this painful smile now.
Yeah. It's just stunning.
Look at her.
Look at her stunning. No, it's a stunning smile. And the makeup didn't move at all. We should briefly touch on the funeral.
We should.
I don't know. Like, I'm just going to talk about my favourite part.
Okay.
Fergie was second row.
Yeah.
I just want to talk about the fact that so were Meghan and Harry.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that one of those groups of people were very happy to be there and the other group were not happy to be there. And I just want to know, like, when did Fergie find out she'd made second row? She was the last in the seat. Meghan sat next to Eugenie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Was she the one that wore the hat?
Yeah, the sperm hat.
Oh, yeah.
To the wedding. So I want to know when Fergie found out that she'd made second row.
I really hope
She was so happy to be there.
that Queen Elizabeth herself,
Oh my God.
in her plan,
Me
said,
too.
please do not tell Sarah Ferguson. Let her experience it as she walks. Let an usher lead her.
Yeah. You know when you like get an unexpected upgrade and you're walking in the theatre and they just keep
You're
taking
like,
you
where
further
is it?
forward?
Where is it? Oh, my God, my God.
And you just keep like you waving at people. I'm so surprised Fergie wasn't waving to people as she went past. And like, Gay Twitter are just dying over Meghan Markle.
Look,
She is reborn. Her image now, because she was not great, like she was a bit on the nose. This funeral, mate.
Put it back on top. Yeah.
They're loving it. The fact that she did not wear waterproof mascara. I wear waterproof mascara every day because I just don't know when I'm going to burst into tears. It'll happen, but I just don't know when it's going to happen because I cry most days.
Yeah.
Happy and sad tears.
Yeah.
So if you're going to a funeral that's going to be watched by the world, what Mazzy are you popping on?
Totally.
Your Maybelline?
Or
your tubing
it.
mascara?
No.
Or your waterproof, hail-proof, drag queen, synchronised swimmer wouldn't come off with a blowtorch.
It was awesome. There was something that was so dynasty about it, and I
respect it.
Respect it.
So you've got Em Rusciano, Lady Gaga, and Meghan Markle.
That's right.
All putting on very public spectacles of over-the-top grief.
Yeah.
Yet still Gaga and I chose the right mascara.
That's why that.
So
Well,
who's the professionals here?
Whoa!
Meghan Markle.
Who? Yeah, exactly.
She got it right.
You went wrong, and my one note for Gaga in that video, and because I do think it's a masterpiece,
Stunning.
I think it, frankly, it was better than all of House of Gucci. It really was. My one note was, next time you do this, Gaga, just whip on some absolutely non-waterproof mascara before you do this video. 'Cause
She can't.
I want to say, what do you mean?
She's got a
she
makeup line. House of Labs.
Oh, fuck.
It's a great ad. Nothing
she can't
shifted.
hurt her brand.
Nah. It's so hard. What do you pick? That's all I'll say about the funeral. I have nothing else to say. Do you have anything to say?
No, except for the fact that it's so friggin' weird that all of a sudden we have to pledge allegiance to this king dude. I mean, what's going on? It's so odd. Anyway, look, I'll just leave it there. It is! It's stupid!
I don't want to talk about anything royal. Okay.
You have just having done a whole segment on the royals. Anyway.
I don't know how this is going to go to air, any of this, but good luck, everybody. Okay. Bye, Chella.
Bye.
Bye, Michael Lucas.
Bye.
This is Emsolation.
Okay, that's all. Thanks for showing up, as always. Don't forget to go to our Instagram account at Emsolation Podcast. And as I awkwardly stated in the intro, if you'd like to become a patron of the podcast, I'd love that. You get a personalised message from me. You get a video from me talking directly to you, saying thank you. There's a whole bunch of great stuff there. Check it out. And the newsletter as well. You can get all that information at our Instagram account, as I said, at Emsolation Podcast. We'll be back on Tuesday for Free Time Tuesday. I don't know what yet. I don't know. It could be anything. As you know, Will Anderson's going to be on in a couple weeks. Just confirmed that today. Now, we know what happens when Will and I get together, so I'm just going to really make sure I get a good night's sleep, have breakfast, and not be dropping any career bombshells. If you don't know what I'm referring to, just look, if you've got a spare couple hours, go and look up all the episodes I have done on his podcast, Willosophy, and you'll be able to plot the demise of my commercial radio career. It's pretty wild, actually. Have a fantastic weekend. We'll chat soon. See ya.
Emsolation with Em Rusciano is a Spotify exclusive podcast recorded at Down the Hill Studios, hosted by Em Rusciano with Michael Lucas and sometimes her eldest daughter Marcella. Executive produced by Benjamin Wasley, produced by Em Rusciano, edited by Ezekiel Fenn, with videos by James Henderson, socials by Marcella Rusciano Barrow, with assistance from Jem Evans, plus cameos from Em's dad Vincey. Get the full Emsolation experience by following us on Instagram at Emsolation Podcast. You can also sign up for our weekly newsletter. Join other Emsolators at the Emsolation group on Facebook. The answer is Harry Styles. If you really want to help us out, you could become a patron of Emsolation. Share this podcast with a friend. Give us a 5-star rating and make sure you're following us on the Spotify app by actually hitting the follow button. As always, thanks for listening, and we're excited to chat with you again soon.